Yo guys, welcome in today's video. In today's video we got a special guest right here. This is Kieran Mulholland, and yeah, he is famous for his Twitter page, On-Chain Edge, and yeah, we just got a nice visitor today who will be looking with us at the Bitcoin charts. And guys, I want to start off with the Bitcoin CME futures charts because we closed Friday at 26,000 US dollars, and most likely over the weekend we will remain at this level, at least Sunday evening. Most likely we will open roughly around this level. That's basically what we often see. And yeah, the big question right now is of course going to be whether this will result into a strong bounce like we have been talking about in yesterday's video, or whether this will result in a breakdown. But also, if we do get a bounce, is that a sustainable bounce? Could that be a new uptrend, or will that bounce also eventually just be a breather and we will be seeing lower levels? Well, if you ask me, I would still think, when looking at the stablecoin dominance, it really looks like we want to complete a fifth wave right here to the upside. And as long as we are still trading in this rising channel of the stablecoin dominance, I would still expect Bitcoin to see lower levels. However, in the shorter term time frame, I do think there is a possibility for a bounce, because we do see a lot of momentum indicators actually going up, like the relative strength index, while the price is trending down. That's called a bullish divergence, and normally they don't mean that much until we break some significant resistance. However, they do tell us that the bearish momentum is running out of steam, could be running out of steam here, and yeah, that we could be seeing a bounce. But I don't know. What do you think, Kieran?
I mean, if we look a little bit at the current accumulation ranges, it's definitely possible that we'll have BTC try and go into those accumulation ranges at around 24,500 to 25,000. If you go a little bit lower, the current risk index is around 45, so that's based on on-chain indicators. If you're looking to accumulate for long term, I think it's better to wait a little bit. If you go a little bit lower,
but what do you think about the Dixie?
The US dollar index is probably one of the strongest indicators on whether the market is going to continue going up or continue going down. At the moment, going down. So the more the US dollar index goes up, the more the stock market and the crypto market drops. And the current price is around $107, and the next resistance is at 107.91. We can only hope that the US dollar index is going to actually bounce off of that resistance. That would also mean that BTC and altcoins are going to actually maybe have a little bit of a relief rally. So let's hope that happens. If that doesn't happen, then we're going to have major drop in the whole market. So the major drop would definitely also happen if the global market would actually drop below the 15th of June support. We had this massive liquidation event back then, if you remember. And if we actually drop below that, that's actually going to be the dead zone, and a lot of people are going to lose incredible amount of money, which is not really something we do not want to happen. So let's hope that the global market stays above this support area. That's especially BTC. If BTC manages to hold ground, that's good. If BTC drops just a few percent, altcoins are going to drop double digits into the red. And if you look at the altcoin market is actually looking really bad, and the main issue is because of the lack of liquidity.
Head and shoulders here?
Yeah, it could be a head and shoulders. If we actually break below this major support and even below the previous low, it's going to be lights out, and this is going to be really bad. But on the bright side, you can actually maybe think about accumulating some high potential altcoins that you think have good growth potential for the next bull run. But that's a risky game, right? If BTC moves 1%, altcoins, they move in both directions, double digits.
Well, what do you think about this rejection? We got this massive dump, massive liquidation event, then suddenly the price started to pump and we got rejected from this level. Do you think this is actually a bearish rejection, or do you think this is just a bot pattern? They just a liquidity grab, or
So
What is it?
in this newsletter, I actually didn't talk about it, but what is actually something that you can observe at the moment, the most of the price action is led by perpetual futures, so not spot. And this kind of move you would actually see when market makers and whales, they actually want to open short positions. So what they're going to do is they're going to actually liquidate the current shorts in order to be able to open their own shorts. And that very often, like we call this also like the Bart pattern. This is like the inverse Bart pattern. And in my opinion, if something like that happens, it's a little bit more probability that we're going to see like a further drop into the accumulation range, which is the blue zone. Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, if you like to follow Kieran and you want to get this newsletter too, it is for free. You can just check his Twitter account on-chain Edge. I will leave a link down below in the description. But for me personally, if I check the most important chart right here, this is the stablecoin dominance. And what we can see, this is basically USDC dominance and US dollar Tether dominance combined. And it just looks like we are since 2019 in this bigger uptrend. And every low right here in this, every low of the support actually marked a long-term or macro Bitcoin top. I can actually show Kieran also right here with a putting Bitcoin on top. You can see, for example, here we bounced from support, Bitcoin was at the top. Here we bounced from support, Bitcoin was at the top. Now here we're bouncing from the support, Bitcoin also potentially is at the top. And I'm telling my audience already for quite some time that I think that we won't see a Bitcoin bull market until this thing is breaking down. But
I agree, yeah.
But if it breaks down, it also could mean Bitcoin goes to 100,000 US dollars, because we have such a massive uptrend since 2019. Breaking down, that would bring a lot of liquidity to Bitcoin, right?
But now the question is like, is it still for like the viewers? Do you think like it's better for them to now be focusing more on preserving capital, going out of the market, or maybe looking for new entries for the next bull run? So now you're saying like if the stablecoin dominance goes up much higher, the market's going to crash. So should they actually be selling the positions and waiting for better entries, or should you just hodling the positions and looking at buying much lower? What do you think?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because I definitely put a part of my portfolio back into stables. I have been transparent on that right here on the channel. I've been transparent on that over on WhaleAlerts too. So it really depends on your risk management. Like if you, let's say you have a full-time job, you earn like 3 to 4k per month, and you have like 80% of your portfolio in Bitcoin, and it doesn't really matter what your portfolio is doing. If it would drop like a 20-30%, you just can wait. You're not really depending on your crypto portfolio. I would say you don't want to have the stress of trading, just hodl. I mean, in the long run, Bitcoin is definitely in an uptrend, and I expect after this fifth wave, we don't know how high this is going to be, I expect this to have a severe correction to the downside, which will mean Bitcoin's price will be pushed like significantly to new highs. So, but if you are a short-term trader, I definitely think you should take this into consideration, because this chart has just been very, very accurate in the past, and we might get cheaper Bitcoin prices in the not so, maybe till the end of this year, right? And we can also see it with Bitcoin. Bitcoin lost a lot of key levels, lost the 200-week moving average, for example, lost the uptrend in support. So it also shows that Bitcoin's uptrend is losing a little bit of steam. It would be a more wildcard scenario or less probable scenario for Bitcoin to just like shoot up from here, although it is possible. It is Bitcoin, we shouldn't forget that. But based on the structures right here, I would really love to see this one whenever it's going to happen, whether it's happening today or maybe in a couple of weeks or maybe in a couple of months. I really want to see this one break out to the downside. That will be my confirmation of a lot of liquidity going to Bitcoin and going back into Bitcoin. Because if we were to go to the resistance right here, Bitcoin would be at lower levels, so I can definitely buy Bitcoin at cheaper levels if this were to happen. But if it just reverses, I get a less worse entry, right? I might lose a little bit on my portfolio, but I don't take a lot of risks, right?
Yes, I think what's a really important thing to consider is like, are you willing to risk 30% which is like if the price of BTC drops 30%, can you stomach that? The one thing you have to consider is like, what is your like risk management? Like Jeroen said, if you got a stable job, you can always like dollar cost average more into BTC, and you don't really worry about the price movements, because like think about like this. Okay, BTC might drop 30%, but if you've got a stable job, it doesn't really matter. But if you would be selling because you're scared about that 30% drop, you risk missing out on maybe like a 300% rally. So you have to think about what of these is going to be more painful, the 30% drop or missing out on the 300% rally. But of course, if you're full in crypto and you have to like pay your bills and so on, make sure you've got enough money on the side. But on the other hand, if you're a long-term swing trader, I think it's way better to be looking for entries. But if you're a day trader, you can maybe try and time the market and get a much better entry for a long position, right?
Yeah, I think so too. And it also, like, if this chart would break down, it doesn't mean you're gonna miss out on a huge rally, because you can still re-enter at these levels, right? I would say, just in terms of probabilities, for this to just break down right here, in my opinion, right now has a smaller probability than to finish a fifth wave, bounce from that support, at least get some steam to the upside right here before we are turning around. And I would love to see it reach this resistance level. I don't want to see it break this resistance level. That would mean Bitcoin, because if it breaks this resistance level,
I think that resistance level of 3, that was like the FTX peak.
Yeah, so if we would break that, it might be a Binance collapse, right? Like,
that might be a Binance collapse.
If we break that, this would be very, very bad. And if we would be at these same levels, it means that Bitcoin would be trading back at 16,000 US dollars. So I would hope that it would like return here. So it goes up right here. Bitcoin maybe correct to 20,000 US dollars. We got a CME gap also over there, and then gets rejected from the resistance, reverses.
I think if we actually reach this 15% level, I think that could be like a double bottom for the market. Yeah. And I think that might actually be an excellent buying opportunity. Me personally, if the stablecoin dominance gets to 15, goes even higher than 15, because I remember when it reached 15%, I think it was like October, November last year. That's an excellent buying opportunity for Bitcoin and many other altcoins.
So guys, if you want to stay connected with this chart, make sure to subscribe down below, hit the bell icon, because every update we will be talking about this right here on the channel. Whenever this chart is breaking down, you will be the first to know if you have the subscription button turned on with all the notifications. And yeah guys, that was it also for today's video. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think this will resolve to the upside, or do you think that this will break down in the shorter term time frame? I'm very curious what you think. If you like this video, please drop a thumbs up. I wish every single one of you a beautiful day, and I hope to see every single one of you in the next video.
Peace.